Welcome back to the Journeys in Business series. I'm Jess, owner of Jess Creatives, and in this series, I'm sitting down with entrepreneurs to hear about their journeys in business and lessons they have learned. Hey, Entrice, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey Jess, thanks for having me today. I'm so excited to spend some time with you.
Yes, so to kick us off, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about your business?
Okay, well, my name is Entrice Rowe, and I am a coach for wives and moms, and I work with them on life stuff. So we work on things that have to do with relationships. So it's a range from managing expectations to setting boundaries to just getting a deeper identity or a deeper understanding of identity and values and how all that plays into the relationships that really God has placed us in. So that's the core of what I do. And I'm also a writer. So that is my business.
Awesome. So how did you get into that?
So coaching, it's so funny because my background is actually education. I was a high school teacher prior to having children. I'm a mom of four, and my oldest will be 10. Will be 10 soon. And then I have a 7-year-old, and then I have twins that are 3. So when I was working full time, I knew that I needed to take a little bit of time to be able to raise my family. And during that time, in my prayer time, I started asking God, like, what He envisioned me doing and what my purpose was. I feel like a lot of times we kind of walk through life not really knowing or having like that clear, decisive, this is what I was created for.
Yeah.
So prior to having the twins, I kind of went about on that path, and He kind of just started putting me in position where I served in women's ministry at church. And I've just always had this knack for helping women in general. So through those opportunities, and actually through chatting with my husband, he's the one who called out my potential and said, I don't know what it's called, if there's a name for what it is you're already doing, but you should get certified and become a coach yourself. So that's kind of my journey, how I became a coach.
That's really cool that your husband played a part in it, because especially, I mean, for me, my husband is a huge like cheerleader and support. Like, he's one of the few people that's been there through all of it. And there have been times where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember like early on, I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this. And he was the one that was like, you can do this. Like, I mean, he has dreams of like having a Jess Creatives like skyscraper in Atlanta. And I'm like, no, awesome. I don't think so. But like, he's very much the dreamer, but he's always been a great supporter. And I think that makes a huge difference for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Women, like having a spouse or significant other that's really supportive of whatever we're doing, because it can be lonely and hard working from home.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny though, because prior to coaching, I worked for a virtual high school for a little while. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was in the classroom, and then when I only had the 2 kids, I worked for virtual high school. So that kind of got my feet wet in terms of working from home and understanding, what that's like to have your support system online.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's nice that it kind of helped me parlay into what I'm currently doing now.
Yeah, like that's a really cool transition.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So what is your favorite part about what you do?
My absolute favorite part is watching women grow and them realizing their strength, because it's already in us. We're equipped with everything we need.
Mm-hmm.
It typically takes someone calling that potential out, because we typically don't see our strengths like other people see them. And so, I can see the little seedling, as we're working through and I'm talking through different things with my clients. And I just love when they catch the vision and, they get that strength and they're able to run with what they're doing.
Yeah. Do you work with, because you said you really work with moms and wives, do a lot of them, are they also entrepreneurs, or are they other like people who have day jobs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So almost all of my clients have been women who are in the workforce.
Nice.
I've worked with a lot of lawyers. I've worked with a doctor. I've worked with women who have various roles.
Yeah, that's really
teachers,
cool.
principals. Women who are trying to really juggle all the balls. So really hoping with that clarity piece too. Like, how do I manage the children and the husband and, be good at what I do as my profession and, and who am I in all of this?
Yeah,
So
that's really cool. So if you had, because you said you have 4 kids plus you're working. So if you had like one piece of advice or one thing that you've done that's really worked for you to help people juggle family and life and business, like what would you say?
understanding that you cannot do it all at once.
Hmm.
So I think sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves to have everything perfect, in
Mm-hmm.
every single area. But really, we're constantly growing and evolving. And the more we work at it, yes, we'll get better. Our capacity grows. But I think sometimes we will look at other women and we'll think, man, she really has it together. And I often say, you may be looking at an area where she just has a great strength, or it might be
Yeah.
something she's gifted in. So, that comparison thing too. Don't compare yourself. Stay in your lane,
Yes.
and don't think you have to always have it all together, because none of us do.
Yeah, none of us do. I'm curious, do you find that people, because I know like as an entrepreneur, I mostly talk with other entrepreneurs, and I feel like a lot of us talk about like we're so obsessed with social media as entrepreneurs because we're on there like promoting ourselves and trying to grow an audience. Do you find that people outside of the entrepreneur world also struggle with that? Do you tell your clients like shut down social media?
Yes, I think it's a gift that we can give to ourselves. And mine is more make space in your life for rest.
Hmm.
So just in
Yes.
general, because there's so many different things nowadays we can plug into and feel just that overwhelm of it all taking over. So
Yeah.
it's just really cultivating and making room for
Hmm.
having consistent rest in your life
Yes.
that I
Yes.
work with women on.
Yeah.
And not feeling guilty about it.
Yes, that's the hardest part, especially for me. I actually don't really enjoy just watching TV and just watching TV. Like, so usually I'm either scrolling on my phone or I have my laptop out, and like, I really try sometimes. I'm like, okay, I need to put the phone down and just watch this show. Cause we only watch Netflix. So it's like shows that I really actually want to watch. I'm not just mindlessly watching cable TV, but I still am like, I could be doing something. I could be working. Oh, I need to send that person an email. But I've been really trying to take Fridays off. And I take most of the weekend off, especially Saturdays. Like Saturdays are my 0 work day. Fridays I'm like half, or, kind of depends on what client work I have, or if I need to work. Because if I don't, then I'm like, okay, like I'm going to take off. In this past weekend, I took off almost a full 72 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Like it might have been like 60 some hours, but it was just it felt really good when I came back, and I was like, yeah, I really need to do that more. Because
Yeah.
just taking off like a half of Friday and all of Saturday is not cutting it.
Yeah, because you know what it does, and this is one of the things that I've learned. When you have that rhythm of rest, it also gives space for more creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I think we conditioned ourselves to believe the more I work, the more I can do.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like, there's also in rest.
Yeah.
So it's so necessary. I'm like, I am most creative sometimes when I've just unplugged from everything and
Mm-hmm.
giving myself that space, because then, your brain has an opportunity to, shut down for a little while, cool off like a
Yeah.
computer,
Yes.
and then, get started again. So it's such a gift to give to yourself.
Yeah, because I came back from my almost 72 hours off, came back feeling really like, came in here Monday morning and was like, yeah, like I feel like I got a decent break, and now I feel really energized for this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, like, it's funny because I always feel that way when I go on vacation, which I make it sound like I go on vacation all the time, but I don't. But, like, oh, we're just going somewhere for the weekend, like a little 2-day trip to see somebody or whatever. And it's just when I really break, like leave the house and get time off, I come back feeling 100% better. So you would think that I would remember that on all my quote unquote normal weekends, take off. Like, especially, I mean, I'm lucky I have like a separate office and I can like close the door and shut off work. But it also is hard. I think a lot of I know I struggle with this, and I know a lot of others do, like, because we work at home, it feels like we're still at work, even if we're not in the office. And it's, I'm also really bad if I'm like, oh, I just need to Google something, like unrelated to work. I just need to like, let's go look at, somewhere to eat. And then I'm like, oh, an email. And then, an hour later, I'm like, oh, right, we were going to go to dinner. Oops. But yeah. So what is your big why? What drives you in your business?
It's really tied into why I started to begin with. And that's because I believe that we all have purpose. And as I said, it's down in there and it's deep, but we have to tap into our creator, so that he can show us what it is.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when we discover that we should be tapping into that purpose, we then think it's supposed to happen immediately.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, it's a process, because you have to, start like a baby, they don't come out knowing how to do what we do as adults. They have to grow and learn, and my big why is seeing people rise to their potential and actually walk out life from a place of health, and be able, and I'm like, I know it's possible because I've done it. And so seeing thriving relationships, seeing growth in marriage, seeing women relating well to their children, seeing them relating well to their adult parents and their in-laws.
Yeah.
It just gets me energized and excited, So that's really my why, because like I said, I know it's possible. So seeing it actually play out just makes me want to high five somebody.
Yes, that's really cool. So if you could go back to when you first started your business and sit down with yourself and tell yourself something for the road ahead, what would you tell yourself?
That truly it is a process, and that the steps do build. Sometimes you think, it's like Karate Kid when he was doing wax on, wax off, he's like, what for, but there really is purpose behind each and every step that lead up to that moment, that we want to get to. But even in that, just learning that, that's not even the end, when you whatever that goal is, there's always still more room for growth.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell myself, to just enjoy the process. Don't get so frustrated when things don't go right, learn the lesson in it and just keep chugging.
Yeah, it's all part of the journey, and there's a lot of tweaking and growing. And I know for me, there's been seasons of like, I don't know if this is working, or like, I remember last year, I really felt like things are good. Like my business was good, but I was like, I'm not like growing. Like I was good, I was getting clients, but I just wasn't growing. It was kind of a weird, like, I feel like I'm stagnant, even though I'm still getting clients. And it was just weird, but it allowed me to really push myself and try new things and stuff. So there's definitely, I look at my business and I can see like different kind of like phases or stages, kind of like you said, like a baby, and it's like they grow up. So it's like the baby phase of my business and a toddler, and I don't know where I'm at right now, teenager maybe.
Yeah, I'm like, and you don't see them getting like, okay, well, walking didn't work today, I'm never gonna walk again.
I give up.
Yes.
No walking and a crawl for the rest of my life.
Right. So it's like, I think sometimes we get super literal when it doesn't work out the way we want it to work out, but it's like, okay, no, you scrap that way, because that's typically what they'll do. They're like, well, that way didn't work out, so I'm gonna try something different,
Yeah. That's really, I like that. And now they don't just stop walking. We need to make that into like a tweetable.
Right?
You don't just give up walking as a toddler. You keep trying. Yeah. So is there anything that you wish you had done differently over the last few years?
I can't say that I have. I feel like all of my experiences were necessary to making me who I am even now. I don't think anything is wasted. Even those moments, like I said, that don't feel good when we're in them. Yes. There's always a lesson, that we learn from them. So no, I'm like, I really do try and take it all in stride. Doesn't mean that I don't get frustrated, or there aren't moments where I'm like, man, that didn't turn out quite how I wanted it.
Yeah.
But No, I'm like, I'm thankful for even my trials, because,
Mhm.
I'm like, I feel like those stories are really what make us relatable to people,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
people, when they see that you have struggles and there's areas that have been tough for you as well, they're able to understand that, man, wasn't able to figure it out the first time, but she
Mhm.
persevered.
Yeah,
So just that story of perseverance as well, I think
yeah.
it's.
It's really scary to share our failures. I think it's like, I don't want to tell people that my launch failed, or that I'm not getting new clients, or that I tried this and I lost money. But like you said, it makes us more relatable. And it's like, oh, you don't have it all together.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it also gives us another opportunity to help teach others.
Hmm.
and and I also, like, I know recently I've seen a lot more people kind of like talking about, just because I did it this way, or that so and so did it this way, doesn't mean that it's going to work this way for you. Like, yeah, sure, like, see how I use Pinterest or how I blog or whatever, but that might not work for your business or for your personality. And so it's like, you can learn from others and learn from others' mistakes, but know that it may not always just totally work for you.
Yeah, I like to relate it to, I'm like, one of the things I typically will relate that to is when I did my student teaching, I
Mm.
worked with a master teacher. And the goal was never for me to become that master teacher, but to glean skills from, um, that's why they call them a master teacher, you
Yes,
know?
yes.
But, I wasn't supposed to become them. And then I also think about the Bible story of David and how, Saul tried to give him his armor and he was like, I'm not made for that,
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so he used what he was accustomed to in order to slay the giant. And
Mhm.
so, I think that if we look within and know that, we were created with uniqueness. And a lot of times I feel like we try and cut that uniqueness out instead of embracing it. And
Yeah.
so that's one of the things that I like to teach as well. Embrace your uniqueness,
Yes. Yes.
because it's there for a reason.
Yeah. So, what are you working on for 2017? What's coming up?
So 2017, I will continue writing. That's a gift that I didn't learn that I had actually until I had my twin. And so I've really enjoyed blogging. I know I have a few books in me, so I'll be interested to see,
Ooh.
when those come out, when those
Yeah.
manifest. And then I'll be starting on this journey of speaking as well, taking my message on the road a little bit. So
Awesome.
I have a couple conferences that I will be facilitating at. And then just, going from there, I like to leave that space, for God to show me what's next.
Yeah.
So I don't ever, I used to, I'm like, there was a season where, you're kind of exact and you want to know what's coming and
Hmm.
what's going to be next. But I've learned to just leave that flexibility in for shifts and,
Yeah.
his desires.
Yeah. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So, where can we connect with you online and hopefully see these books coming out? Maybe attend these conferences that you're speaking at?
So my website is my name, www.entricerowe.com. And there is my blog as well as opportunities for coaching. If anyone is interested in coaching, I'm on Instagram as the Guilt-Free Family. That's the name of my business because I just believe in this concept of doing life. My tagline is unapologetic, unrehearsed, all real,
Oh my gosh, that just gave me goosebumps. That is so cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So it's like we're living life, mistakes happen, but our mistakes don't define us. And
Mhm.
so it's just giving people a glimpse too into what my family does, how we do it, how we push forward. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook as well. I was on Entrice Rowe. And then I will be in January, I'll be at the Boss Moms Retreat facilitating. And then I will be facilitating for Pursuit in
Yes,
Tampa in February.
which I'm going to be at.
Oh, yay, I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Cool. Well,
So,
thank you so much for chatting with us today. This was really fun.
well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.